Good Thursday evening, everybody. Welcome to the Dirt Racing Network and our live coverage of the NetCode ESports Mighty Midget Series. 4 races remaining in the season. Doubleheader tonight, doubleheader next week to crown a champion. Gonna be difficult for anybody to catch Dalton Schrum. Craig Silvey, outside chance. He's got to have a little help. Got to get Schrum to have a really bad finish a couple of these features and see what he can do with a break if he can pick up some wins during that time. But Dalton Schrum, 865 points, and he leads Craig Silvey by 36. Silvey at 829. Then David Krikorian, 769, 96 points back. So quite a ways back of the leader there. Robert Lynn, Josh Gerlach rounding out that top 5 in the points. Going into tonight, doubleheaders here. 2 features, they'll be able to pick up some points, but it's going to take some work. They're really going to have a little bit of bad luck for Schrum and a little bit of good luck for themselves if any of those guys hope to close in and steal this championship. Right now, 13 drivers have checked in for tonight, so a couple of quick heats. We'll get to our feature. And then they will flip it around, do it again, just like they did last week. A couple of heats and right to the feature again. So we'll probably do a dash tonight and a redraw. But only about 45 seconds until these guys... Practice session will be over, and then they will go into qualifying, and we'll run it out from there. Should not take us very long. Lights will come on here pretty quick. .65 degrees, 88% humidity, so right after the rain, a lot of moisture in the air. Already drivers on the speedway for qualifying. We are watching John Borst. 86 machine. Watch John take his first lap. We'll flip over here and check out Dalton Schrum. There he goes across the stripe. John Borst second quick after lap number 1. Bobby Yankee, 13 flat. Thibaut Brandon, 1292. Schrum, 1280. So, Schrum to the top. His second lap, not nearly as quick. Slowed it down quite a bit. Problems for him. Let's see. Craig Silby's out here, but Dalton Schrum, 1280. David Krikorian, 1287. Right around the bottom, as expected. Out of 4, across the stripe. Silby. Fourth quick, 1295. Got to pick it up quite a bit if he intends to knock Schrum off the pole. Tried the high line. I don't think that's going to let him go any quicker than his first lap. It does not. 13:22 for lap number 2. Stephen Moore finally out on the track. Moore having problems getting off the corner. Looks like the back end of that car wanting to step out considerably. Across the stripe, no time to score. So, qualifying coming to an end. That means we will get ready for heat race number 1. And they're going to line them up just like this. It's going to be Robert Lynn, the 2 car, on pole with his buddy Josh Gerlach in the 71 on the outside of that front row. Thibaut Brandon inside row number 2, and then quick qualifier for the evening, the 8 of Dalton Schrum. Reed Brochart, the 93, will start inside that 3rd row next to DL Lemon in that gold-colored 8 machine. And then Stephen Moore, the 96 we saw out there, not scoring a time, but taking some laps. He will start 7th in our first heat. So 2 quick heats. We'll have a couple of cars from each go to the dash. They will redraw. We will figure out what the front 2 rows are going to be. Throw them all out there. They'll mix them up on the pace lap, and then we'll mix them up for 30 laps for the feature. Right now, we're underway in heat number 1. Oh, that did not load right. It is going to be Robert Lynn going to the top side. Schrum's going to come in right behind that. Gerlach still trying to work off the bottom. So Robert Lynn, Josh Gerlach, Dalton Schrum, Robert Lynn, Josh Gerlach get together. I think Gerlach's car was hurt in that deal too. Schrum's going to assume the lead, and he's got a pretty sizable gap right now. 1.6 seconds over Stephen Moore. Moore started 7th, all the way up to 2nd already. Brochart to 3rd, Lemon to 4th, and Tebow Brandon, problems for him. He's dropped a couple of spots. Robert Lynn, Josh Gerlach, neither one on track after their contact out in turn number 2. So those two will have a lot of work to do to come through the feature. Watching Dalton Schrum right here. Schrum comes around. He's going to have 2 to go this time when he comes out of 4. Schrum making it look pretty easy tonight. Stephen Moore giving chase, but just not enough real estate, not enough laps left as we're under the white flag. So it looks like Schrum and Moore will be our 2 drivers in the pole dash in a little bit. But Dalton Schrum will win the opening heat race for the night. And if that is any kind of foreshadowing, the rest of these guys are in for a very long evening, and your champion will be taking victory laps the rest of the season. So, heat 1 in the books. Grid them out for heat number 2. It's going to be the 86 of John Borst on pole, and Bobby Yonke, the 28 car, will start on his outside. You'll see the Kiwi Conqueror. Craig Silby in the 7 car inside of row number 2. David Krikorian in the 66 will be his partner in that row. Colt Collins in 94 inside of row number 3 next to Billy Barros. Barros in the 38 car. That should round out our field. And our heat races. Well, they kind of got to when they're running on the bottom side there. They got to slide a little bit. They don't have the option to keep them straight like they do up top. Pace truck in. Green flag in the air. John Borst got a good launch. We'll see how long he can hang on to that. The Kiwi Conqueror, Craig Silby, goes straight to the bottom, trying to hang on to 3rd. He started inside row 2, and he has been a bottom feeder most of the season. Borst around the towel. Contact between Yonke and Silby. Silby was right down on the inside. I'm not sure if Yonke knew he was there or not. Tried to close the door, but Bobby Yonke's car heavily damaged. David Krikorian just now rolling away. He's going to take that thing right up against the inside wall, get it out of everybody's way. And to the infield he goes. So 6 cars become 4, and John Borst is hanging on to the lead. Out of 4 down the front stretch. Silvy's making up ground on that inside line, the shorter way around. Needs some drive on the exits of the corner, but Borst doing a good job of keeping the momentum up right through the middle, about a lane and a half down from the top. 2 to go that time. Two to go this time, I'm sorry. Misread the pylon. Now Silby with the slider line, cuts across. Borst goes to the inside, not enough. Silby leads at the 2 to go to mark. So your 2 top contenders. Schrum in heat 1 with the win. It looks like as long as Silby can keep it square, he's going to win heat 2. Those 2 will go at it in the pole dash to find out where they're going to start. Good battles between those 2 drivers already in this season. But heat number 2. In the book, Silby, Borst, Barros, Collins, Krikorian, and Yonke. The finishing order, we'll see Craig Silby, John Borst in that shuffle here in just a moment. Sunday night, don't forget, 8 Eastern, Mars Series. It's the Mid-America Racing Series, or Midwest Area Racing Series. Midwest Area Racing Series, formerly the Midwest Dirt Series. They'll be back to doing dirt there, trying some asphalt stuff out. We had some fun Sunday night covering their little short track deal at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Pretty fun deal. Make sure you tune in for that. Then next Wednesday night, new series coming on, 360 sprint cars. getting back in action on DRN. And we'll wrap up the season next Thursday night right here with these guys. So right now, we're going to see Steve Moore, Craig Silby, John Borston. Here comes Dalton Schrum. They've already redrawn. We'll see how they're going to line up. It's going to be second place finishers in the front row and winners of the heat races in row number 2. So Moore and Borst. And then Schrum and Silby. About 6 laps, I think, is what they run here. About ready for this green flag. And out of 4, finally, green flag in the air. Pole shuffle underway. Moore able to get out of turn 2. Schrum grabbed second. Here comes Silby trying to take third from Borst. Silby trying to work the bottom side. Schrum was right down against the wall. Silby had to move up lane. Here comes a slider from Schrum. Crossover from Moore. 2 laps in the books. Side by side for your lead. Stephen Moore giving the fast guys all they want right here. Halfway home in our pole dash. Moore back to the point. Silby starting to challenge. Now it's 3 wide in turn 1. Settle that out. Here comes Schrum. Oh, Moore has a problem. That's going to put Schrum out to the point, but Silby's got to run on the bottom. Nothing doing. 2 to go. Dalton Schrum had the lead at the line. Craig Silby trying to use the short way around. Make the momentum a non-factor, but the white flag in the air. Now Silby has the point coming off the bottom. He goes into 3 and 4. The lead extends that a little bit. And Craig Silby has your pole dash. Schrum at second, Borst third, and Moore in 4th. So they'll give the rest of the field a couple of minutes to get out and run some laps. We'll watch some random drivers. Stephen Moore, Roger Wagner, DRN booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Let me crank up your volume just a little bit here, man. So you got out there for that dash. Had a little bit of trouble. Looked like a bobble out of turn 2. But what's the track look like? What can we expect out here in the feature in this first go-round?
You know, I'm not entirely sure. I was trying the bottom. Honestly, all 3 lanes seem really viable. If you can get it to stick on the bottom, I really think that's the right line. But yeah, it's just really racing. I'm really excited to see how this race is going to turn out.
Yeah, it looks like if you can keep your momentum all the way up, running right around the middle, it takes the guys on the bottom a long time to clear, but eventually that bottom line is going to prevail. Do you think it'll go away before we get too far into the feature and that'll open things up to the top?
I think so. It's real treacherous, real narrow down there, so I'm not sure how long it will stay like that, but definitely it's going to be the place to run early, I think.
All right, man. Well, good luck. Hopefully we get a chance to talk to you on the podium at the end of this thing.
Thank you.
Driver the 96 car, Steve Moore. Let's look at how we're going to line them up. I believe it's going to flip-flop that front row, and I think it's going to be Craig Silby on pole next to Dalton Schrum. And then the second row might be correct. Moore and Borst. Behind that, we know it's all right. It's going to be Brochart and Barros, the third row. The fourth row, Lemon and Collins. Brandon Krikorin in row number 5. Gerlach and Yankee in row number 6. And bringing up the rear to start this one, the 2-car Robert Lynn had problems in heat number 1, pretty much right off the bat there. He he and Josh Gerlach getting together. So boys go around one more time. Next time out of turn 4, we're going to get the green flag for 30. Awesome laps. First of 2 shows, guys, double header. These guys will do the same thing here again. As soon as we finish with this one, they'll swap to a new server. We usually try to do some interviews in between, give the drivers a chance to talk about round number 1 while we get ready for round number 2, and then we'll go at it one more time. It's green flag in the air. And Craig Silby shot out like a rocket. We're watching John Borst back here in 4th right now. Schrum grabbed 2nd. Moore, we talked to him between sessions, and he is sitting in the 3rd spot, and he's trying to run around that bottom. Got his teammate right behind him, Krikorian. Or Brochard, Reed Brochard in the 93. 2 cars are painted the same, so if I confuse them, that's their fault, not mine. Right now, your 2 leaders, Silby and Schrum, starting to stretch away. Borst has grabbed 3rd. Here comes Billy Barros into 4th. He's trying to work around the top side. He takes that away from Moore. Moore back to 5th. Saw Colt Collins bump the wall, got the front end off the ground. He puts it back down, gets a punt from behind. He'll keep going. They're 3 wide going into 3 and 4, and that's for about 9th place. 93 car, Brochart, Brandon right in the middle of it, and Robert Lynn with a great move to the middle now. He's going to grab a spot. 2 leaders checking out. Over a second ahead of 3rd place. They're less than half a second between themselves. So we'll look. They're already down in 3 and 4. Silby, half a second in front of Schrum. Barros is 3rd, and he's cleared Borst now. He's starting to put some distance in there. 4th place still up for grab as Krikorian now starting to close in on that bottom lane, and Borst staying married to the top groove. Colt Collins, big run through 1 and 2. He's going to move beside Stephen Moore. The 94 of Collins takes the spot away right there. We're 10 laps into this thing already. Clean and green thus far. Now Borst and Gerlach starting to go at it. Borst all the way up, right rear, right against that concrete barrier. Gerlach with a slider line. Cuts off Borst. Borst gets a tap from Collins. Now Borst. John Borst. Bad break. Back, and we are going to watch this. Borst in that purple and blue car, and he and Josh Gerlach almost get together. Borst has to check up a little, and Collins tried to thread the needle. Those 2 make a little contact, and then Robert Lynn gets into it as well. Lynn's car stays on all 4s, and Borst had a little bit of a tumble. Not sure if that car looks like some broken suspension. He's going to give it a go. So we said they were clean and green, and immediately we get a caution. Bad host. But up front, that's going to give the guys a chance to get a little bit of a breather. It's going to put Silby, Schrum, Barros, Krikorian, Gerlach, Collins, Moore, Brandon, Brochart, Lemon, Yankee, Lynn, and Borst all in single file order. They'll get ready to go back to green. This time out of 4, going to have 17 laps remaining, I think. Might be 18. Looks like it's going to be 18 officially. Silby right back at it again. Schrum with the slider line. Barros went all top shelf through 1 and 2 on lap 1 of the restart. Krikorian dive into the bottom. Krikorian trying to get a podium spot away from Billy Barros. Halfway to go next time. Battles for third place right here. Barros has it. He's on the top side, the 38 car. Krikorian, the 66, wants to take it away. Now Barros making a move on Schrum, trying to put Schrum back in spot. Krikorian got in there and made Barros react, and that's going to take the spot. Krikorian up on the podium right now. Barros had thoughts of being on the bottom. Krikorian showed him the nose, and when Barros recorrected, cost him a spot. He's under fire already from Josh Gerlach for doing so. And caution at the back. I don't think this is a contact caution. I think somebody just spun out. I'm not sure who spun out even. They only got it sideways long enough to trigger the caution, so we're not even sure who spun out. Could be Colt Collins. Let's see. He's the one showing in last right here. Oh, no, it looks like it's going to be John Borst. Yeah, boy, I think Borst had enough damage on the car. I think that's why he spun out. It looks like he was all by himself and just had this. We're ready to go back, green flag racing. 12 laps remaining. No, that's not what that's supposed to say. And caution once again. And it looks like Colt Collins having a problem. Yep, Collins in all kinds of trouble back here. And this is all by himself. Went in the corner, right rear goes up, hops the fluff, and into the fence he goes. So Collins having problems as well. So Borst and Collins out of it. 11 cars still on the track. Sylvie Schrum, Krikorian, Barros, Gerlach, Brandon Moore, Brochart, Lynn, Lemon, Yonke. Right at 10 to go. Waiting for the lights to go off on the pace vehicle. Third caution. Good race in the first 12 laps. Had some quick cautions here in the last about 7 or 8 laps. So pace truck in, green flag back in the air, and Schrum timed up Sylvie perfectly that time. He is going to be right there, but here comes Krikorian off the top. He had a pretty good run out of 2. It doesn't look like he's going to have nearly that kind of run out of 4. David Krikorian, the 66 car, really getting through 1 and 2 very well. Not quite as good in 3 and 4. You saw Josh Gerlach slide Billy Barros. Those two going at it for 4th position. Here comes Brandon into the mix. Tebow Brandon, the 49 car. He'll get around Gerlach. Sylvie's starting to get away from the battle for 2nd. We're watching the battle for 4th. But Schrum's still under fire from Krikorian. Wave lap next time around, be 5 to go when they come out of 4. Krikorian down on the bottom, almost had it. Car got out of shape. He had to check it up and gave all that distance that he made over the last 4 or 5 laps up in about 100 yards right there. So back to work he goes. Only got 4 laps to get it done. Sylvie with the slider line through 1 and 2. Goes right back into the middle. 3 and 4 comes out high. Almost a full 2nd right now. There's Krikorian still 3rd. Barros 4th. Gerlach is 5th, but Craig Sylvie maintaining a 1 second lead with 2 to go. White flag this time for your leader. 1 and almost 2/10 seconds. Silby getting away from these guys late in this one. He's going to win feature number 1 easily. Dalton Strum second. David Krikorian in third. And Barros and Gurley. Brandon, Lynn, Moore, Brochart, Lemon, Yonke, Collins, Borst rounding things out in our first feature. I know Mr. Strum will make his appearance here shortly. So let's get David Krikorian. David Krikorian, you got a copy?
Hey, what's up?
Well, man, back on the podium here as we get to the end of the season, round 1 at I-55, and 66 car looked pretty strong. You were battling for second there.
Yeah, once again, we didn't have good track position to start just from the heat race. You passed a lot of cars. We were, I think, good enough for second. The bottom in 3 and 4, I think, was just too roasted to really run it at both ends. The 1 and 2 would still work, but you needed to probably run bottom 1, 2, slider 3 and 4 probably optimally. And just once Craig and Dalton started doing it, you just kind of have to start doing what they're not.
Yeah, we saw you get some really good runs off the top of turn 2 until late in the last run right there. But 3 and 4 just didn't look like anything was really anywhere, because you'd go in and start losing distance and not make any of it back up.
Yeah, it was just too far gone to really straight line it very well on exit. 1 and 2, you could do it just fine. Just 3 and 4, you had to run the slider line.
Well, give us some shout outs, some thank yous. We'll let you get ready for round number 2, and hopefully we'll see you back on the podium.
Shout out Reed and Steven and all the fellas on the B team. Good job, Craig and Dalton, on their finishes.
All right, man. Thanks for chatting with us, and good luck in round number 2 tonight.
All right, thank you.
David Krikorian finishing third here in feature number 1. Now we'll talk to the guy. Podium streak starting again. Dalton Strum, second place tonight, and you're still chasing the 7 car when you finish second, man. What's going on?
I don't know. Tonight was just all about car placement, and I guess I couldn't put my car in the fastest line out there.
You needed a new place, huh?
Yeah.
Well, you know, still podium string, and you got a pretty sizable lead, about 36 points, I think it was, coming into tonight. So staying close with only now 3 races to go, and you know, Craig making only a handful of points up on you. It's just about making sure you're in the feature and finishing in the top 3 to 5, isn't it?
Yep. It's just close finishes with him, or just beating him. You never know what can really happen in these last couple races. Something huge may happen, so it's always just be on your A game and get ready for anything.
Well, what do you expect in feature 2? Similar track, or are they going to try to change some things up for you guys?
The track was alright. It definitely was like really about car placement. I think if we could have, like, I don't know, it was pretty fun. I liked it, but the top just went away pretty quick.
All right, man. Well, we're going to look forward to seeing you in feature 2. You got some shout outs, some thank yous before we let you get out of here.
Yeah, Speed Ranch Setups, Cody Williams Design, and Dalton Strum Photography.
All right, man. Good luck in round 2, and hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to you again tonight.
Yep, thank you.
Dalton Strum finished second, your points leader. And now this guy's back in here again. Might as well build a seat and put his name on it right here beside me, because Craig Silby seems to be spending a lot of time in the announce booth with me. Craig, you picking up another one, man. You trying to chase that 36 points down before we finish out?
Oh yeah, mate. I have no idea how the points work, but yeah, we must be getting closer and closer. That was good fun, except it was a really difficult track to read. You know, like it was black slick through the middle, and it was getting, you know, the slick was getting wider and wider, and the bottom wasn't that fast, and it was like, oh no, where do I go? Where do I go?
Yeah, it looked like you were running a different line than we're used to seeing the 7-car run. That slider line seemed to be working pretty good, and David Krikorian even said, you probably could stick the bottom 1 and 2, but you really needed to run the slider line in 3 and 4. But you were running the slider line at both ends, and you stretched it out to about 1 1/4 seconds in the last about 8 laps there.
Yeah. Well, I like the top at 1 and 2 was just getting way too thin, too dangerous, and so I was running the bottom at 1 and 2 and the top at 3 and 4 for a little while, and that was okay. But yeah, as the bottom started thinning out, I just thought, oh, why not? I'll just bomb the slider at each end and see what happens, and try and keep it off the walls, and I managed to get there.
Well, what are we going to be expecting in feature 2? Are they going to do anything fancy to the track, or are we going to end up with the same thing we just had and watch the slider line for 15 laps?
Yeah, I really don't know, mate. I like, I think again it's just going to be about how well you can read the track. Like Gunnar last week, he just showed us all how well he can read the track. He was able to find the lines where the speed was. But he's not here this week, so we all have to figure it out ourselves.
All right, man. Some shout outs, some thank yous before we let you head for server number 2.
Thanks, Roger. Thanks to NetCode ESports, and also thanks to Don Runkle Jr. for helping out put the show on. That was fantastic. Thanks to him, and Dirt Racing Network for putting it out for the world to see. I'm looking forward to watching the show later, and all the other competitors. We all race clean and hard, and we have a great time. And really looking forward to the next one. Concrete cutting, easy trucks, New Zealand, and let's go.
All right, man. Well, thanks for chatting with us, and we'll see if you can sweep tonight and make that gap a little shorter going into the final week.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the starting from the back if I can next week.
All right, man. Thanks for talking with us, Craig. Good luck in round 2. Craig Silby picking up the win in feature number 1. Quick look here at our finishing order. Silby, Schrum, Krikorian the top 3, then Barros and Gerlach 4 and 5. Brandon was 6, Lynn 7, Moore 8, Proshart 9, Lemon 10, Yonke 11, 12 to Collins, and 13 to John Borsbor's. Just a bad night when the car got broke. Not much he could do with it. He just kind of had to fight through it. So feature number 1 in the books. We are going to get ready to swap over to the second server. While we do that, we always try to entertain you guys. So we will give ourselves a little bit of background music here. While we swap servers, we'll probably drag a driver or 2 in here, give them a little chat up, see how they feel about their chances in round number 2. Let's see, who can we get first? Let's see if Colt Collins is there. Colt Collins, you got a copy.
Yeah, hey, what's going on, Roger?
Hey, man, little bit of between session chit-chat here, man. Wanted to know what happened to you out there in feature number 1 tonight.
Oh, man, I couldn't even tell you, man. Every time on them restarts, I'd go for that lip on the high side, and that tire carried over that berm, caught the wall, and it took me out twice.
Yeah, Craig Silby said that the top got pretty scary because it got pretty thin up there. Apparently, you were a victim of fear factor tonight.
Oh, yes, sir, I was. I don't know. It caught me off guard both times, too. I thought I was going to miss it, and, man, it just carried hard.
Well, what are you expecting in feature number 2? Same kind of track? Expecting something a little bit different? Any insight that anybody's giving you about anything they're going to change in the way they set it up other than going from maybe day to night or something?
I can't tell you. I couldn't tell you. I really like the track. A little bit less wear would have probably been nice. But I'm hoping that high side stays in, and I'm going to try to not go as high this time.
All right, man. Well, we're going to wish you good luck. Tell you thanks for chatting with us. And I hope we'll get a chance to chat at the end of feature number 2 with you.
Oh, yes, sir. I'm hoping for a better finish, and maybe I'll get to talk to you again. I appreciate it.
All right. Colt Collins, driver of the 94 car, had a rough night in feature number 1 for sure. And looking to trade his fortunes in maybe something a little bit better for him here in feature number 2. It's all the small things, folks. I am behind the scenes fixing my cameras. Trying to give you guys the best show I possibly can. So bear with us a second here. Looks like everything coming together now. Not sure how long they're going to run the practice session. Don't know what kind of track state they're looking for, but we're not done talking to drivers. I know that. So while we're waiting, we'll let this one scroll through different drivers here for a minute. Getting some things logged into the server, guys. I need just a moment here. We got a problem with our sound again. This happens every time I swap servers. I don't know what's going on there, but we got car sounds. So we'll watch the guys warm up a little bit. We'll leave a little bit of background music. There we go. Now it looks like everything's back in order. I don't know what happens every time I swap servers. I seem to have a problem with my sound staying up. Tebow Brand, you got a copy?
I do have a copy.
Well, you made a good run through the field in feature number 1. What are your thoughts here as we turn the lights on and run into feature number 2?
Yeah, it's a new track, new day, feels like. I feel like I had a really good car going into that last feature, and I don't know if it was seen or not, but I lost a nose cone pretty early on, and so that definitely hurt the aero. Didn't get quite enough that downforce that I was hoping for, so that I think I could have made a run up through the field a little further, maybe gotten a podium last race, and so I think I'm aiming for that this race too. So we'll see how it shakes out. Yeah, I'm excited for it though.
Well, just about 3 races left in the season, and the field's a little smaller than the beginning of the season, so every position counts, especially in your heat races. And you have a bad night in your heat race, it really kind of puts you in a tough spot.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, that happened to me this past race. Incidental contact sent me for the loop in the heat race, and I had to start near the back. So, yeah, you definitely don't want to do that, especially when you're racing for points. At this point, I'm out of contention on that. I've missed too many weeks here, unfortunately. Just other things have kept me from being at the track, but still doesn't mean I don't want to come out here and compete, try to race for wins and podiums and things like that. But I'm definitely going to respect the guys that are still in it, that's for sure.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate you taking the time to chat with us. Get some practice laps in there, and hopefully we'll get to see you on the podium at the end of feature number 2 tonight.
Man, I'd love to see it.
Tebow Brannon in chatting with us. We'll let the boys get at it. Not sure how much longer they're going to run their practice session. We know they want to run the track down a little bit. Maybe not as much as we thought, because it looks like they're ready to advance, go to qualifying. So that'll put a damper on things quick for me. I wasn't quite ready for that, but we will get ready. Josh Gerlach already on the speedway for his qualifying. We'll have qualifying, a couple heat races. And then we'll go right to our pole dash and our feature right after that. Pretty quick show in the first one. I expect the same thing in this one. Looks like we got about the same amount of drivers. Gerlach goes to the top I didn't even have it turned on the pylon. 1268. Schrum right behind him. Craig Silby now goes to the top. 1264 as he goes out on lap number 2. We'll go watch Robert Lynn at the end of this lap for Silby. Silby a little bit slower on his second lap. 1270. So everybody timing in already. And this time, Craig Silby going to be your quick qualifier was Dalton Schrum in show number 1. Gerlach with a good show in show number 2. He moves up to second quick. So invert 4. So we'll see Craig Silby start outside row number 2 in heat number 1. And he'll have Dalton Schrum right next to him inside row number 2. So your two contenders now going to go head-to-head in the heat races instead of splitting up the heat races and trying to go for the win and then end up in the dash side-by-side again. We'll see how they come out of this. Just waiting for the session to end and them to put everything together for the heat races. And that has happened. So let's get ready. Show you the grid. And Robert Lynn, the 2 car, will be our pole sitter. He'll have T-Bo Brandon. We talked to T-Bo right before the end of the practice and going into qualifying. So the 49 machine outside row 2. Like I said, you're going to have the 8 of Dalton Schrum inside row number 2. And next to him, the 7 of Craig Silby. So your 2-point contenders side by side in the heat race in row number 2. Then Colt Collins, the 94 car. And you'll have Bobby Yankee, the 28 on his outside. And the 7th and final starter, heat number 1, will be the 8 car of Don Lemon. So, yeah, big thank you to Mr. Runkle tonight for putting on the show for these guys. It's great when all the drivers get involved, or at least, you know, the drivers get involved and help and support the leagues that they run. And it takes a little bit to run one of these, so getting help from your participants is a big deal. So big thank you to Mr. Runkle for that. But heat 1 underway. Once again, Robert Lynn showing some speed early. Here comes Brandon. Brandon goes to the inside. He'll pull alongside and ease out in the front. Through 3 and 4, T-Bo Brandon takes over the lead of heat 1. Dalton Schrum into 3rd behind Robert Lynn. And Craig Silby tucked in behind that. Then it's Bobby Yankee, Colt Collins, and DL Lemon behind in the 7th spot. The boys want to be in the dash, I promise you that. And so you're going to watch the 8 and the 7 car right here. They're not only going to go after all the other competitors, they'll probably go after each other a little bit and see if they can bump one or another out of that pole dash. Everybody trying to catch Brandon. 3 to go. T-Bo Brandon half a second in front of Schrum. Schrum's got Silby all over him. Silby looking for that spot, looking for where that momentum's a little bit better. There's a little different bite. Going to go wide into 1 and 2. Going to come out. He loses about a car length. Here comes Robert Lynn. Lynn trying to get back in the picture. White flag for heat 1. Brandon took the lead on lap number 2 and has not been challenged since, and he's probably going to win this if we don't have a mistake here. Doesn't look like he will. He wins heat 1. He'll go to the pole shuffle. I'm going to take Dalton Schrum with him. Craig Silby will start inside row number 3 for the feature. Lynn was 4th. Yankee, Collins, and Lemon rounding things out. So heat 2. Final heat race of the night. It'll be Billy Barros, the 38 on pole. And he'll have David Krikorian in the 66 on his outside. It'll be Reed Brochart, the 93 car, inside row number 2. Next to 71 of Josh Gerlach. Then Stephen Moore in the 96. He'll start next to the 86 of John Borst, and that'll make up our 3rd and final row. Heat race action will be in the books. cooling them off, ready to go. Lights already off on the pace truck, so we're going to go green out of 4. Green flag and Billy Barrows. Great jump for him. Kind of snookered Krikorian. Krikorian's almost had a challenge there from Brochart. Gerlach, Brochart side by side for 3rd. That time Krikorian had to do it. He gets into the corner so good, and that's the 2nd time tonight I've seen him get in better than the guy in front of him. Have to check the car up, and it almost caused him to wreck his own car trying to stay off the guy in front of him, and it cost him a spot both times. So now Brochart has 2nd. Here comes Gerlach as Krikorian loose off the bottom of 2. He'll take 3rd away. Krikorian's back to 4th, right in front of Stephen Moore. Barrows out in front of this thing. He is running away from these guys. Halfway home, final heat race of the evening. 9/10 of a second for Barrows over Brochart. Brochart's got company. Gerlach reeling him in. Now opens up the gap out of 4. Krikorian starting to pull back up on the back bumper of the 71 of Gerlach. Lap and a half remaining. Barrows has it well in hand. Brochart was the only one under fire, and he's opened up the gap about a half a second on Gerlach as the white flag in the end. All Barrows, all the time. Heat number 2, the 38 machine. Going to the pole dash, and he's going to bring Reed Brochart along with him. Gerlach 3rd, Krikorian 4th, Moore 5th, and Borst rounding things out in heat racing action. So we'll bring the top 2 from each heat out, line them up. Second, first. Give them 6 laps. And that'll set the starting order for tonight's 30-lap main. Second feature of the evening. Hope everybody's enjoying the show. Say hi in the chat, guys, if you're watching. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know who you're watching. The 4 cars sitting there on the end of pit road. We're just waiting for them to roll out, find their order. Tebow Brandon, Billy Barrows. Here comes Schrum. And here comes the 93 car of Reed Brochart. So, did Dalton Schrum grab the pole for this thing? Yes, he did. Schrum to the inside, Brochart to the outside, and then Brandon inside row 2, and Barrows outside second, first, row to row. Should be green this time out of turn number 4, 6 laps, and this will set our front 2 rows for tonight's second 30-lap AMA. Dalton Schrum got a great start. It's going to be a tough one to run down. Brandon's going to have to really put the horsepower to the ground if he is going to catch up in this one. Brochart grabbing second, Brandon 3rd, Barrows 4th. Barrows and Brandon going at it. That's 3rd and 4th. You can see the 2nd place car of Reed Brochart. 2 laps into this. Schrum to the inside. Slides it up to the middle. Streaks across the line halfway home in the pole dash. Two laps to go. Barrows trying to catch back up. Battle right now between Brandon and Brochart. White flag coming out. Good battle for second. Schrum has it in hand. Brochart able to hang on the bottom. checkered flag coming out. Your pole dash, Dalton Schrum, Reed Brochart, Tebow Brandon, Billy Barros. So that'll set your front 2 rows right there. Be Schrum and Brochart on our front row to start the feature tonight. Brandon and Barros behind them, and then Sylvie and Gerlach will be our 3rd row. I know that much. Three features remain. 1 at I-55. 2 next week. It's a wrap up of the season. Crown the champion. Get ready for their changes and their alterations during the offseason before they come back. Not sure when they're coming back. Going to put some things in action. Figure out what they're going to do. So, sure they'll be right back here on the network. Looks like the practice session coming to an end before the feature. Drivers just getting a little silly out there now. All right. We know what the starting lineup is going to look like. It is going to be Dalton Schrum and Reed Brochart on the front row. Then Tebow Brandon, Billy Barros in row number 2. Craig Sylvie, Josh Gerlach in row 3. Robert Lynn, David Krikorian making up the 4th row. The 5th row, Bobby Yankee and Stephen Moore. And then Colt Collins and John Borst in our 6th row. And DL Lemon, shotgun, 13th starting position on the field tonight. So 30 laps once again. Started off with 12 consecutive green flag laps before our first caution in feature number 1. One more time around. We'll get the green flag the next time out of turn number 4. Sylvie won the first one. Schrum was 2nd. Krikorian was 3rd. We'll see where those drivers finish in this one. Woo, Schrum. Wow, Dalton Schrum started to go and check things up. I'm not sure what the point of that was, but looks like everybody's going to get away clean. It shuffles things up a little bit back behind him. Right now, Schrum, Brandon, Brochart, Barros, Gerlach, Krikorian, and Sylvie, and they're side by side. Now Sylvie grabs a spot from Krikorian. Barros grabbed a spot from Gerlach at the same time right there. That's 4th and 5th. They're all right behind Reed Brochart. Looks like the bottom's going to be pretty good right now. And with the slider line, they move up wide in 2. They'll go down the backstretch on the outside. Cut to the middle or to the bottom. Here comes Sylvie with the big dive into the corner. Closes the gap, but nowhere to go, and he had to check the momentum down. Schrum, 1/4 second over Brandon. They got 1/2 second together over Brochart. Brochart under fire from Barros. Contact as Barros Slid across the nose. It checks everybody up. That's going to shuffle things a little bit. It opens the door for Silby to go around Gerlach. Silby up to 5th. She had fallen back to about 8th. Now he's going to go for 4th. He's getting huge runs up out of the corner in both 2 and 4. Go watch Brandon. Brandon's starting to close in right to the push bar of Dalton Schrum, then loses a handful of car lengths. 7 laps completed. Still Dalton Schrum. Then Thibaut Brandon, Reed Brochart. Still hanging on to 3rd, but Silby now has cleared Barros, and he's going to make a run at the podium. Gerlach drove it in deep under Barros, had to really get on the binders and almost lost the back end of the car. These guys are really getting at each other right here. 3rd on back. Now Silby moves to the inside on Brochart, didn't have the drive out of turn 4. Brandon took a peek on the inside of Schrum in 1 and 2 and lost 3 car lengths on the exit. There's your battle for 3rd. Silby takes it away. Now we'll look at the leaders. 3-4 car lengths, and Brandon getting good drives into the corner, just nothing on the exits for him. Slider line working. He almost got that push bar. With that front nerf right there. These guys are very close to one another. Going to be halfway this time. 15 in, 15 to go. Schrum's led them all, but Brandon hasn't let him get more than a spit away. Almost a full second back to Silby, and Silby closing the gap, fastest car on the track last lap. Again by a 10th fastest car this past lap. We'll see if he stays that way. He is closing the gap. There's contact with your leader, and Brandon's going to sneak by on the inside. New leader at lap 17. Schrum with the big drive down in the corner and really got on the binders. Brandon just kept it powered up to the outside. Silby closing in. A little here, a little there, more contact, and Brandon going to get out of shape. All that does is helps the 7 car. He's got the high side rolling. He takes 2nd away. Now he's going after the leader. Silby and Schrum going at it for the lead. Finished 1-2. Feature 1, they're finishing 1-2. Feature 2, if they can stay off each other, figure this out, but Brandon's got something to say about it. Top 3 on the screen. Now Silby surges ahead down the backstretch. Coming around, 8 to go this time. The Kiwi Conqueror trying to sweep the night. Schrum under fire. Brandon's there. Schrum drugged the wall a little out of 4. Brandon slides across the nose. Silby has the control of the race coming up on lap traffic. Schrum with a good move. Takes 2nd back. Going to be the wave lap this time to Brown. 5 to go. Silby once again out in front. Brandon going at Schrum again. Couldn't get it there. DL Lemon, the lap car right in front of the leaders. Here it comes Gerlach. Gerlach's got ahead of steam. 4 to go. Silby, Schrum, Brandon, Gerlach, and the podium not decided at all right now. Craig Silby down to the bottom. Trying to work around lap traffic. 3 to go. 3-car battle for 3rd right now. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th right there. And here comes Brandon. He gave plenty of room right there. Silby out of 2, lap and a half remaining. Can he sweep tonight? Hang on for another 6 corners. Clears Lemon, lap car. White flag in the air, 3 wide for second. Gerlach's going around, 360, more cars wrecking. White flag was already out. Silby is going to sweep the night. Schrum is going to hang on for second, and Brandon going to finish in third. Fantastic race right there, guys. These guys showing why. Watching the mighty midgets. So much fun. Mr. Brandon.
How you doing, Roger?
Well, I don't know what happened between sessions, but man, you were on it in feature number 2.
Yeah, definitely did a lot better on that one. You know, having the rest of your front end really helps get the grip on. But yeah, that was quite a race. You know, we Dalton and I were pretty even, and I feel like Craig was able to kind of take advantage because we were going back and forth so much on that. So yeah, that was a great race. I mean, I can't be too mad about getting third on that because, you know, that was just good racing.
A lot of sliders, a lot of line covering, and a tiny bit of contact, but man, probably the best race we've seen in a while. The track was really just kind of wide open.
Yeah, it kind of felt like that. It felt like early on the slider line was definitely where it was at. That's where Dalton and I got out ahead of. It seemed like we got out a fair bit of ways. Couldn't really tell though. And then yeah, near the end you could go up top all the way. You could keep running the slider line. You could put it down on the bottom next to the wall, kind of wherever you went. That track that was very racy. That was very fun.
It was a lot of fun watching that, man. Give us some shout outs, some thank yous, and we'll let you celebrate a hard-earned podium run in feature number 2.
Yeah, I thank my wife, my parents, Mighty Good Marketing, Josh and Robert for throwing this little shindig together, and you, Roger. I want to thank you too.
All right, man. Well, thanks for chatting with us. Congrats on a great run, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the season finale next week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Tipo Brandon finishing in third in feature number 2 tonight. Great run for him. Always like when we talk to the drivers between features, and then they come out and perform. We'll bring our bridesmaid back in again. He keeps his podium streak alive a little bit longer, but man, he's still chasing the 7 car. Darton Schrum, you had some other company tonight in this one.
Oh yeah, I was definitely getting beat on. Had that knock on my door, and it was fun though.
Well, it looked like you and Tebow were having a heck of a race out there. You two racing each other, let Craig kind of catch up. Once he got around, you two didn't stop. What were you thinking when you saw the 7 car go streaking by and the 49 was still trying to rough you up a little bit?
I was just, I mean, I definitely tried my hardest this race. We'll definitely have to change the Nerf bars and stuff for next week, but it was all fun.
Yeah, it looked like you guys were having a blast. It looked like the track was really wide for the whole 30 laps of this second feature. You guys could go just about anywhere.
Yeah, this track definitely was a lot better than the last one. It was a lot more 2-lane racing than just either the bottom a couple laps and then top and then slider. But I really liked how the track raced. It was fun and fast.
Well, another podium for you, and I know the guy that was behind you in the points closed up a little bit further, but going into next week, you're gonna probably have somewhere around a 20-point lead, man. What are you gonna do to fend this guy off and stop him?
Just stay on my A game. I know he has to start in the back in the feature or something like that since he won both tonight, so that'll definitely give me a little edge on him. But I don't know. I'm just gonna keep my head straight and Just don't let anything get to me.
All right, man, some shout-outs, some thank yous, and we'll let you celebrate another fantastic night of racing.
Oh yeah, Speed Ranch East setups, Cody Williams design, and Dalton Strum photography.
All right, man. Congrats again. Look forward to seeing you try to close this thing out next week.
Yeah, thank you.
Dalton Strum, your second-place finisher in both races tonight. Well, he came, he saw it, he conquered Peebly, Missouri. Sweeps again next week. Going to have to start the back of the first feature on championship night. But Craig Silvey, heck of a run tonight.
Oh, thank you, man. I'm glad that you interviewed the other guys first, because I'm only just caught my breath. I'm so exhausted.
Well, you know, you guys went straight through. 30 laps in the second one. You started fifth, you come home with the win, but you didn't get to the front until the very end. Those guys started racing each other.
Oh, I just got so lucky. I feel really bad for Dalton, because I could see that those guys were going to get into a battle, and I thought, oh yeah, okay, I'll just wait and see. And then there was just a sneak of an opportunity, and bam, I was through, and yay, I got the win.
Well, an awesome. You got to start at the back of the feature on championship night. You're still going to have to make up. I'm going to go with roughly about 20, maybe 22 points. What are you looking for going into that final race, and what do you think your chances are of catching up and snatching this championship away from Mr. Schrum?
As much as the points are a thing, I'm just really looking forward to the challenge. Like, coming from the back, that's just a whole lot of cars to pass. I'm really looking forward to that. And if the points come together, then yahoo! If they don't, then congratulations, Dalton.
All right, man. Well, an awesome night. Give us some shout outs, some thank yous, and we'll let you grab the broom and sweep the place up again.
Yeah, that's right. Don Runkle Jr., thank you so much for helping out with the broadcast, and Dirt Racing Network for broadcasting, and Roger, your commentary, I really love listening to that. And NetCode ESports, thanks guys, you guys just put such a good show on, and all the drivers that show up each week, we're all getting better, you know, like if you look at the times are so tight, so it's just such good fun. Really looking forward to next week. Thanks again to Concrete Cutting and Easy Trucks New Zealand. Catch you guys.
All right, man. Thanks for chatting with us. Congrats on a great night again, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week. Craig Silvey sweeping the night, the 7-car. That means hot shoe for next week, and we've seen him come from the back and do some good things. So he's got some points to make up, but I think he's got a shot at it. Let's look at the final. Here we go. Let's look at our final results for feature number 2. Silvey, Schrum, and Brandon, top 3. Gerlach, after the 360 there on the white flag lap, does still come home in 4th. Colt Collins 5th. Then Krikorian 6th, Moore 7th, Borst 8th, Lynn 9th. Barros, who was battling with Josh Gerlach there, he falls all the way to 10th on the last lap. Brochard 11th, Lemon in 12th, and Yonke rounded things out. Well, 1 week to go, and Dalton Strum, really, if he can keep his podium streak up, I don't think anybody's got a shot to catch him, unless Silvey sweeps the last week and maybe he finishes 3rd in both races. And even then, that's going to be really close. So we'll have to wait and see what the points look like coming into next week and find out what has to happen for one to hang on to the championship and the other to snatch it, because it really is a 2-car deal right now. So can't wait to see how that's all going to shake out. But guys, I appreciate you spending your time with us here on a Thursday night. Don't forget about Sunday night, 8 Eastern, Bar Series back in action. And then next Wednesday, new 360 series coming to us. Aces are back on. We've had a couple of shows of theirs, some specific special event races before, but this is a 7-week series for those guys. So can't wait to see what they're going to bring to the table. Expecting 25 to 30 cars with those guys, so it ought to be pretty fun. That'll be on Wednesday nights, and then we'll wrap things up here next Thursday night. But I can't thank you guys enough. Without you guys, it wouldn't be worth doing. The drivers make it fun, but you guys make it what it is. I appreciate that a lot. So, for myself and everybody at the Dirt Racing Network,